Ouch! I'm getting this crazy pain in my arm. You know, the pain is so intense, the word crazy just doesn't do justice. Which is why we need to learn how to describe physical pain in different ways using different adjectives. Well, hello and welcome to today's lesson. My name is Rima, and yes, today we're going to talk about different ways to describe physical pain in English. Because trust me, sometimes the word ouch just doesn't do it. Because physical pain is of so many different types, which is why we need to have special words to describe each kind of physical pain that we might experience. So over here I have a list of words that you can use in order to describe the kind of physical pain that you're feeling, that you're experiencing. And let's look at all these words one by one. The first one is burning. And no, this has nothing to do with fire. It's a kind of sensation wherein you feel like your body is touching something very, very hot. So a burning pain is a pain which feels very hot. Now, mostly open sudden wounds will always give you a burning sensation. So if I have to use the word burning in a sentence to describe physical pain, I could say something like, while playing football, I cut my thigh and I felt a burning pain seep through. Which means when your wound is raw and exposed and it feels like something very hot is touching it, that's when the pain is called a burning pain. A lot of sports-related injuries can actually make you feel like you're experiencing a burning pain. Now moving on, the next one is the absolute opposite kind of pain. It's the freezing pain. Now the freezing pain makes you feel like your body is touching something freezing or something ice cold. A lot of people complain of experiencing a freezing pain in their neck and shoulder area, which means it feels like this entire area has gone really cold, but at the same time, they're feeling a lot of pain. So I could say something like, in order to use freezing in a sentence to describe pain, I could say, after standing stiff all day long at the reception, I felt a certain freezing pain in my neck and decided to rest. Yeah, well, that's the kind of pain that I'm sure you've experienced once in a while, and you probably never knew how to describe it. So here you go. That's called a freezing pain, something that makes you feel like an entire area of your body has gone cold and is very, very painful. Moving on, a numbing pain, a pain that makes you go absolutely numb, meaning you feel no sensation. Now, many times when you do some heavy lifting in the course of a day and you don't realize that you've lifted beyond your capacity or that you may have sprained a muscle in your arm in the process, after some time of having lifted something so heavy, you'll suddenly find that there is a pain in your arm, and that's a numbing pain, a pain that makes you lose all sensation. So that kind of pain is called numbing pain. Like for example, while helping the movers and packers pack up my house, I did some heavy lifting which led to a numbing pain in my forearm after some time. Which means my forearm kind of stopped feeling anything, lost all sensation. So that is what a numbing pain is. The next pain which most of us are familiar with is a sharp pain. Now, a sharp pain is a strong, intense pain. So imagine that a sharp object is digging into your arm or your leg. If you're feeling such a kind of a pain, then it's called a strong, intense pain, meaning a sharp pain. So I could say something like, while walking in my house, I happened to walk into the sharp edge of the door and my arm experienced a sharp pain, which means my arm experienced a sudden, strong, intense pain, which I can describe as a sharp pain. Moving on, there is another very wicked kind of, very evil kind of pain which most of us have experienced at least once or twice in our life, and that is called a stabbing pain. Now, a stabbing pain is as if somebody is taking a sharp object and digging it into your flesh, not just once, but time and time and time again, repeatedly. Which means a stabbing pain can be described as a sharp pain repeatedly. So imagine if someone took a knife and started stabbing you with it, the kind of sharp pain that you would experience over and over and over again, that would be stabbing pain. So many times, we experience this kind of a pain when we are, kind of playing a game and we suddenly fall down. It takes a while for us to realize that we're going to have a lot of pain, and when the pain starts, it's a strong, stabbing, repeated pain. So when I had a hip injury while playing a game, I could experience a stabbing lower back pain leading down to my hip bone. Ouch. Well, that must have felt really horrible, and I'm glad I only made up the sentence and I didn't really feel it myself. Well, moving on. Now, this is a sensation that a lot of us experience and do not know how to describe. It's called the pins and needles sensation. Now, imagine if I gave you a set of tiny pins and sharp needles and probably, asked you to poke it into my hand one by one. Well, I know that would be very cruel, but the sensation that I would experience, the kind of pain that I would experience, would be called the pins and needles sensation, or the pins and needles kind of pain. So this kind of pain is felt if a certain body part is inactive for a long time, or the blood circulation in that body part is actually slowing down due to inactivity. So I could say something like, after the surgery, when I tried walking for the first time, my leg experienced a pins and needles sensation, or a pins and needles pain. The reason for that was because my leg was inactive for a long time due to the surgery, and when I made an attempt to walk, this is the sensation that I experienced. So if I have to tell you the meaning of pins and needles pain, then it's short, sharp, and intense pain. Well, another really ugly kind of, really wicked kind of pain is tingling pain. Now, this happens when, you have some internal muscular injury that you've been carrying for a while. So every once in a while, this injury will remind you that it's there by giving you a tingling sensation. I've experienced actually in real life a tingling sensation in my upper arm many times in the course of the day. And sometimes this can be so painful that it makes me want to stop working. So a tingling pain is actually pain that flows through your body. So I could use this in a sentence by saying, In the middle of my work day, a sharp tingling sensation in my arm made me sit up and take notice, which means it was time for me to seek medical help, because tingling pain is mostly an indication of a serious internal problem. Moving on, there is the shooting pain. Now, a shooting pain has actually got 2 points. So this is a point pain which flows between point A and B. So I could say something like, I'm experiencing shooting pain starting from my wrist till my upper arm. So it seems like the pain is flowing upwards in this direction. It is shooting in a certain direction, which is why it's called shooting pain. And mostly this pain is in intervals. It's not a continuous kind of pain. It just keeps flowing from point A to point B, but not continuously, intermittently. So that's shooting pain for you. Another kind of really painful pain, which I hope never to experience, is the red hot poker pain. Now imagine that you have an iron rod which has been heated and it has become red hot. How would you feel if someone dug that into your flesh? It would be burning, it would be painful at the same time, right? Now that kind of pain is called red hot poker pain. So basically it's a hot and raw, sharp pain. When I got injured against a metal door, I felt red hot poker pain flowing through my body. Well, there you go. That's the usage of red hot poker pain. And of course, crushing pain. Now, if you've ever had a fracture of any kind, I'm sure you can relate to this kind of pain. It's called crushing pain. So when I ended up fracturing my leg, I felt a crushing pain in my leg. So it's as if someone or something, like a certain object, is just crushing the bones or crushing that part of your body. So crushing pain is in case of a fracture or a bone injury. So well, these are the different ways in which you can describe physical pain in the English language. Now, I know none of these words are going to lessen your pain, but they're going to help you aptly describe it, especially if you're seeking medical help. So while talking to your doctor, if you can describe your pain like this, you might be able to tell him exactly how you're feeling and get the correct assistance. I really hope that you've enjoyed this lesson. Subscribe to our channel. This is me, Rima, signing out, saying bye-bye and take care. I'm going to catch you very, very soon with yet another fabulous lesson.